and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. This meeting has been posted and announced in accordance with Chapter 231 PL 1975. Mr. Palladino, will you call the roll?
Trustee Grollman.
Here.
Trustee Jacko.
Here.
Trustee Lopez.
Here.
Trustee Shore.
Here.
Trustee Sheldon.
Here.
Vice President Pereira.
Here.
Madam President.
Here.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend meetings of this board, except where specifically exempted by law, in which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this Act, the Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having same advertised in the Belleville Times. Also, notice of this meeting has been mailed to the members of the board, the borough clerk, all elementary schools, the middle school, the high school, and posted on the district website.
Thank you, Mr. Palladino. I have a motion for the approval of the minutes from October 15, 2018, closed in public session.
Second.
Any discussion? Mr. Palladino.
Trustee Grollman.
Yes.
Trustee Jacko.
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Here.
Trustee Shore.
Yes.
Trustee Sheldon.
Yes.
Vice President Pereira.
Yes.
Madam President.
Yes. We have no high school representative tonight. Items to be presented by administration. Dr. Tonko.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening, everyone. We'd also like to welcome all of you joining us for the live streaming at home. This is our first, I guess, official stream, for lack of a better technological term. But welcome. Thank you all for coming out tonight. First, I want to wish all of you a happy holiday and Thanksgiving season. We've been doing a lot here this year so far, a lot of progress, and we are very proud of that. We continue to do that. As you see on the agenda tonight, there are some incredible things still happening. There are Students of the Month, and I just wanted to mention a few things that may not be on the agenda, a few announcements per se. The first thing that I would like to say is I'd like to thank our faculty, our administration, our staff, even our board, who was in contact with me throughout the night of the storm. Obviously, the Thursday night storm took us all by surprise. We really didn't know it would affect the state the way it did. That was evident by the roadways not being prepared in certain areas of the state with regards to de-icing materials, etc. And I think it really came upon us as a surprise. Our faculty and staff, custodial staff, maintenance crew, paras, everyone, administration, we were working together as a team to make sure all of our students got home. With the busing, we even actually had a custodian who stayed late to monitor the building with our aftercare program, our aftercare advisors, made sure that parents were able to get to their children. So obviously we can improve on some of these things and make sure that next time we have protocols in place in case anything happens again. So we're always going to learn from that, but I think we did an incredible job. I'd also like to commend everyone for the next day, Friday, where we were one of only two or three schools in all of Essex County that were open. I mean, you know, our crews and our town, our DPW workers got all the roads and the corners ready so that we could make sure our students got to school to learn and our families could get to work, knowing that our students were safe. And we had a very low attendance, a very low rate of people not in attendance. So we have a very high rate of teachers, administrators, and paras, and students, and just a phenomenal tribute to what the district means to everyone. So I commend everyone. I commend the parents, the students, our teachers, our staff for coming in that next day. Myself, I didn't get home till 1 o'clock in the morning. and also make sure I was part of the team that was here the next morning a few hours later. So I know a lot of teachers did the same. One teacher not getting home till 2 a.m. That night. So again, I want to thank everyone. I think it was an incredible thing, just an incredible testament to how everyone feels about our kids here and our district. So great job. Again, I'd like to commend the board as well, staying in contact with me, even in traffic on the way home. We were making sure some of the last students that were being bused by private companies or whatnot did get home, and the board was very concerned. So again, just all in all, an excellent job. But again, we could always get better. So I wanted to report that, so thank you. Up front here, there is a paper regarding early decision. We've had some early decisions so far this year, which basically is, I don't know if we can call it a program or just a benefit that we have local colleges come here on site to meet with students who are interested, and they get direct decisions that day, that meeting, whether they are accepted into the college or not. So we're proud of that. We want to spotlight that. So the names of those students who are accepted are up here. And we're very proud of them. The board received that as well. And I think it's important to know that we are partnering with a lot of local colleges and universities to make sure that our students do get an opportunity if this is what they feel. We also understand the locations are important as well. So we're not downplaying any of that. But again, we want to spotlight this. So if you get a chance to come up there and look at some of our students that have this great opportunity, please do so. We have a summer exchange and an enrichment program, an adult learning academy that is going to be happening this summer. We've talked to a lot of the teachers and administrators about it already, and we're looking to put together a program of just different things that we can really offer to the community. So enrichment-wise, we're going to see students K through 12. Our teachers and our administrators are working on possible programs now with me with regard to different enrichment areas such as poetry, robotics camp, some things that we're hopefully working on to allow that to happen this summer. Also, we are looking for any adult who can teach any type of interest, whether it be yoga or a real estate license or CPR, who would like to be part of the academy. There's going to be a small tuition for that, so you will be paid. But please, if you know anyone, send me an email or contact my office. There'll be something on the website shortly for a link to now invite the community stakeholders to be part of this academy, which is something that we've been working on. You see it's on my merit goals. It's something that the board has been talking about for several years now, and you see it in different towns where they have these summer learning programs for adults, maybe bilingual programs, etc. So now Belleville is going to be partaking in that starting in this summer. So please contact me if you know anyone with regard to that. Also, two more things. The school calendar. So there's been a lot of talk about it, a lot of rumors. We're almost ready to have the board approve this, and that'll be at the December meeting. So in several weeks, you will see the calendar will be posted the week prior to the board meeting, so parents can view, so that if you have any concerns or whatnot, you can contact my office. But just to give you an outline of what is going to happen, due to the referendum construction that is going to be taking place starting mid-spring to late spring, we need to extend the summer as much as possible, so we can provide time for our construction crews to get all this work completed. In saying that will also now push back our ability to get the buildings ready for our students by cleaning and, especially after the construction companies will come in and I'm sure make some dust, for lack of a better term. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to push the school year out. And right now we're looking at a start date of the last week in September, so the 26th, I believe that is. And we are going to still try to stay with the same type of accommodation for the end of the year in June, so we want to stay at that last week in June for graduation. So what that says to all of you is that unfortunately for 1 year, many of the breaks that we're used to, many of the long weekends or whatnot will probably be non-existent moving forward, so that we can get the recommended amount of days in. Next year, the school year will be extended to 181 days, as opposed to the state regulation 180 days. The commitment that we made with our faculty here is to add a few days within the next 5 years, because we want to try to get as much learning as we can for our kids. So that'll be coming out shortly. All right, again, not optimal, but something that we definitely need to do here, because we know that these repairs are extremely important, especially when it comes to HVAC, heating and ventilation. We need to get these things accomplished before we come out of the summer. So I know it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be, again, optimal is the word I always use for something like this, but it's definitely necessary. It's a necessary thing. I've been through this before several times. When you do work throughout a school day, basically there are a lot of hindrances, there are disruptions, there are disruptions to the educational process. So for every day that we can allow our construction crews to work in the summer equates to 1 week of work. So we try to extend that as much as we can. So that's just to keep you updated. That's my first public announcement. We've gotten a lot of feedback from the bargaining units, the board, the administration, etc. So we're ready to kind of roll that out next month. So please stay tuned for that, and I appreciate your support on that. And again, once you see any type of suggestion you may have or complaint or whatever it is, please contact my office directly and we can talk it out. Okay? I understand it's not an easy thing sometimes with vacations, etc. We're also talking to the aftercare program to maybe extend the summer camp. There's certain things that we know we need to do. Okay, extended school year programs, etc. All right, and last but not least, next month is our winter board meeting, our holiday celebration, or our winter celebration. So as we always do here, we are going to be providing some goodies and some entertainment with some carols and some holiday songs from our chorus students. So that meeting will be moved into the senior lounge, where we'll have that meeting, and we hope that you can enjoy some time with us. Those festivities will start at 6:45, around 6:45. So we can enjoy all these things before the start of the meeting, which will be a little bit after 7 or 7:05, somewhere in there. Okay, so we appreciate you coming out. And again, happy Thanksgiving and progress.
Thank you, Dr. Tom. We'll move on to a report by Mr. Egan, the State Monitor.
Good evening. My report will be short. Basically, to confirm that the district is still solvent. As Dr. Topko said, we are progressing with buildings, repairs and upgrades, and we're making progress every day. Just one other comment is to point out that not to ruin the holiday festivities on the next board meeting, but I hope to have the district orders for the representatives from Lurch, Vinci, and Higgins at the meeting to present to the board for their information and approval the results of the audit for the prior year, for the year that ended June 30th of 18. They're still finalizing the report, but once again, we're solvent. In addition, there will be substantial amounts of money being reserved and deposited to the capital reserve account, which demonstrates that the district is being run efficiently, that we're generating this extra money so that we can pour it back into the system. Once again, it's progress, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Egan. Okay, let's move on to remarks by citizens. There is no one signed up for the first session, so we're moving on to resolutions. Can I have a motion on personnel 1 through 28?
Motion. Second.
Any Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Palladino?
Trustee Garland.
Yes.
Trustee Jacko.
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Short.
Yes.
Trustee Sheldon.
Yes.
Vice President Guerrero.
Yes.
Madam President.
Yes. We have nothing on curriculum and instruction. Moving on to board action, board policy. Could I have a motion for number 1 through 29?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Palladino?
Trustee Garland.
Yes.
Trustee Jacko.
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Short.
Yes.
Trustee Sheldon.
Yes.
Vice President Guerrero.
Yes.
Madam President.
Yes. Can I have a motion on purchasing and business services 1 through 10?
Motion. Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Palladino?
Trustee Garland.
Yes.
Trustee Jacko.
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Short.
Yes.
Trustee Sheldon.
Yes.
Vice President Guerrero.
Yes.
Madam President.
Yes. Can I have a motion on finance 1 through 15?
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Mr. Palladino?
Trustee Garland.
Yes.
Trustee Jacko.
Yes.
Trustee Lopez.
Yes.
Trustee Short.
Yes.
Trustee Sheldon.
Yes.
Vice President Guerrero.
Yes.
Madam President.
Yes. Moving on to remarks by citizens. Can I have a motion to open for public participation?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Remarks regarding any items and issues that are relevant to the educational system. The participant must sign in and be recognized by the presiding officer and must preface comments by announcing his or her name, municipality, and group affiliation if appropriate. The individual called shall proceed with a maximum of 5 minutes. All statements shall be directed to the president of the Board of Education. No participant may address board members individually. Mr. Bano?
Good evening. As always, greetings to the board and accolades to our educators who always go above and beyond. A special shout out to those who are providing tutoring services before and after school. My daughter, one of them, is a recipient of those services, and it really makes a huge difference. I'd like to call the board's attention to several dynamics at play affecting the learning environment of our Buccaneers. First, I commend the board for spotlighting trade work as well as college opportunities, because inclusivity is an integral part of student growth and achievement. Second, I'd like to voice a concern regarding the proposed calendar for the school year 1920. Teachers and students need breaks, especially from all the tests, the benchmarks, the quarterly exams, PARC, and so forth. That's all I really wanted to say about that. But next, could the board please confirm, does grad point, is that still offered for marking periods 1 through 3? Grad point? Yes, okay, thank you. So this is going to be a very strong opinion, but here it is. So grad point, in my opinion, enables students to do half the work and receive full credit, where students need to learn accountability and sound work ethics. This program sets a terrible example. I even question that it doesn't fit in with our integrity and scholarship. What's more, it diminishes the value of hard work of the students who get it right the first time around. I don't deny the benefit grad point provides for students who genuinely need the service. Nevertheless, my opinion, which is based largely on conversations with students, it stands that this program is something we need to evaluate and consider the efficacy of, and to make sure that we are absolutely holding students and teachers as well accountable for how they're performing for quarters 1 through 3 especially. Thank you.
Mr. Urbano, thank you very much for bringing that up. I'd like to respond to that because we agree with you 100%. And the students, and I think a lot of teachers had a question about grad point, and the word you used was efficacy. I think it's a great word because there are some benefits here, but I think right now our current policy, which Mr. Rhodes and I have been looking at, definitely needs to be changed, and it will be for next year. So thank you for bringing that up. Appreciate it.
Can I have a motion to close public participation?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Moving on to items, remarks, and committee reports to be presented by board members. Ms. Jacko?
I want to take this time to congratulate the students for their college and or university acceptance letters. And I also wanted to remind the parents to please participate in their school HSAs or PTAs or OPEs or PTOs, so that way the school itself and the students can reap more benefits. I also wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to the parents and the teachers and administration and staff, and to our board trustees, our attorney and president. And I wanted to also remind that December 7th, we have a township joint venture with our Board of Ed for our tree lighting here at our school, and I look forward to seeing many of the people from the community participating and enjoying and celebrating. I also wanted to remind parents that this Wednesday we have a half a day, so just in case, please make the necessary arrangements. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jaffe. Mr. Groman?
Thank you for saying something about doing the trades with the kids. It's very important to, especially in Belleville, we're a blue-collar town, and we as a board, I don't think we're doing enough up here with these trade programs to get our kids into trades. I've talked to Rich Tomko about it a couple times, and we have plans of moving along a little more with it, but I'm always behind that 100%. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. On the schools, we're trying to dress everything up. On the outside, we had some graffiti outside the high school. And when it was cleaned up, I don't know what chemical they used, it looked really terrible for a long time out there. Within the last couple of weeks, we had the bricks stained out there. It came out terrific, it looks great. Today, we had a apron put out at number 7 school on Division Avenue. So for the safety of the children, they could be dropped off going in on Passaic Avenue and coming out onto Division. That apron was done today, and we have to proceed with doing a driveway going up to it next year, because we're coming into winter right now. Our buildings and grounds built a paver walkway going from our driveway out to the sidewalks. They did a fantastic job. That looks great. And another thing I'd like to do, due to the snowstorm the other day, I don't know if it's possible for us to do this, but we're looking into if there's some way, we have GPSs in the school buses. I'd like to see if there's some way we could do an app to where when the parents are home worrying where their kids are, if they could track that particular bus that their students, their child's on. This way they're not worried where they are. So we're working to see if that's possible to do. And everybody just have a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Mr. Groman. Mr. Sheldon?
Good evening, everyone. Firstly, I'd like to welcome Ms. Spineri on board as our new Director of Planning, Research, and Evaluation. I'm quite confident she's going to have a tremendous positive impact on our district in the months and years to come. Last week, I had the pleasure of attending the school number 10 HSA meeting. Right after that meeting was over, one of the parents came up to me and said, Mr. Sheldon, you know what our district really needs? We need some sort of summer enrichment program. Could you look into that? And better than dominoes, 3 days later, Dr. Tomko announces the creation of a summer enrichment program. Unfortunately, that parent isn't here tonight, but I'm hoping he's watching online or the word gets out to him that we will have a summer enrichment program in operation next year. Let's see. Don't have too much to say tonight. Just wanted to ask Dr. Tomko one question. I want to catch him off guard, but we've had a number of discussions since the beginning of this school year about the family math night. Any updates at all that you can offer about the status of that?
We discussed, there is a family math night for the middle school coming up. I can't recall the date off the top of my head. I know it is going to be announced, so I'll make sure it gets out to everybody. And there have been some teachers throughout the elementary schools that have volunteered to help me put those together, so we are working on it. Thank you.
Hopefully we'll have that fully up and running before
Yes.
we get into 2019. Lastly, I just want to thank all of our staff for the Herculean effort, the little miracle they were able to perform last Thursday in light of that freak snowstorm. As usual, Mr. Henry and our building and grounds crew did a spectacular job getting all of our schools cleaned up and ready the following day. I also want to thank all of our bus drivers and Ms. Guardabosco, our transportation coordinator, for getting all of our kids home safely, even though it may have taken a few extra hours than normal, but job well done. So I want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving and look forward to seeing everyone back here next month. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shelton. Ms. Shore?
Thank you. My apologies. Last week I attended School 5 PTA. I continue to be impressed by the involvement of faculty and staff. And there are numerous people participating in the PTA, and they're there at the meetings. And I mention this because and at School 7 as well, we're getting quite a turnout. And I would hear people say, we have our homeschool and our PTAs, but no one attends, no one participates. What's interesting is there is a surge in this district that's positive as far as parent involvement. And I have to say, as having the opportunity to serve on this board, I'm seeing it, and I think it's great. They are working on programs of enhancement for the children. They're working on with the principals in organizational to make more efficient the organization within certain areas of school operation. It's very impressive. I would like to commend our superintendent and our staff here in the district for this storm we had and how our staff really came up. It was very impressive. And I did speak to Dr. Tomko. He was in touch with the board members as the evening went on, to the point where even when he was finally attempting to get home as well, he was still trying to remain in contact with us. And though it's not Board of Ed, it's always, what is it? Unity within the community that we always hear from. It's what Mr. Barrera's slogan said he pushes well. You know what? He does, that's his. But it's the public works, our police, our fire, the people that, it was rough out there, and our whole community had to work against those hills and try to get people home. It shows that when things get tough, Belleville's even stronger, and that's what I saw the night of the storm. And it's very interesting that, you know what, we were hearing for years that we had little to no capital reserves. And if there was emergency, those of us who go to board meetings all the time, you heard, well, if something really bad happens, we don't have those that much in reserve, we don't have those funds. Well, the interesting thing that's happening now is where money can be saved. It is being saved, and we're building the capital reserve so that we can do even more to improve the facilities and the conditions within the district. And even though sometimes we throw darts at them, we really do have to thank our state monitor for helping us and getting us out of the issues that we were facing. And I'm looking forward to seeing that audit report, because there will be exceptions, there always are, but I don't think it's going to be the laundry list that we remember seeing for a couple of years. It was a fiasco. So I thank you, Mr. Egan and Dr. Tomko, for your leadership. And thank you, Mr. Palladino, for your patience in sending us everything as we constantly are begging and annoying you for all details. As far as Grad Point goes, I've heard things too, but Grad Point, the intention is not negative. The intention is good, because obviously we want to see fewer students not face failures, but I don't disagree that, the quality of instruction or the expediting to receive the credit for the course, that isn't, it's valid. Your concern is very, very valid. Most of all, our athletes. They've really conducted themselves all season. We've heard nothing but good things about how our athletes conduct themselves in winning, which we're very proud of, but it's also when they don't win. Have we heard any horror stories? Nothing. Our athletes help to build the Bucks. It's just something that we're so proud of, and if anything, thank you for the best thing that we have in Belleville, and those are our kids. So happy Thanksgiving, enjoy your families, and view your families as a treasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Shore. Ms. Lopez?
First, I'd like to begin by commending the faculty, administrators, and facilities team for weathering the storm and showing up to educate our children. I think that the showing is a very good indicator of school spirit, pride, and the fact that we are building a positive culture in the district. Excellent. I'd also like to commend Dr. Tomko and Chartwells for welcoming our teachers the next day with coffee and donuts. I think those little incentives go a long way to engender goodwill. We're always saying that. I thought that was a very nice touch, and I'd like to recognize you publicly for that token. I did have one question for Dr. Tomko. With regard to the summer enrichment program that you spoke of in your report, was that in connection with the adult education component? Okay, good, great. I'm glad to see that we're moving along with that. And finally, with regard to the Finance Committee, as I'm always reporting at every meeting, we do meet regularly. We do have a standing meeting date. However, because it landed on the date of the snowstorm, we still met electronically. We did our due diligence with regard to reviewing bills and all of the financial reports. And we've also began to look at the referendum numbers, and we're looking at, we've been able to look at a preliminary report with regard to what we've spent so far. And once we have a more comprehensive report prepared by the professionals, we look forward to sharing that with the community, just to let you know where we are with regard to the referendum. And finally, I'm looking forward to the capital report. I encourage you all to attend that meeting in December, and I'm confident that the capital report will confirm the positive progress of this administration and board. And as always, thank you for coming out this evening, and I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Mr. Guerrero?
Good evening, everyone. I don't have too much to say. I think everything has been covered by my colleagues up here. Definitely, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. A lot of blessings. I think it's a lot of things that we all need to be thankful for. I also want to say once again, echo the great service that we have from our everybody in the district, I should say. It's not just Mr. Henry, but everybody here worked together, pulled together, and this is how we accomplished to get all the children home and keep the district safe, and have our school day and our teachers at home safe. And that shows the work ethics that our team has, the dedication, and the love for Belleville and our high school and our school district. So we all pulled together and we accomplished, I think, a lot of good things compared to other surrounding towns. Thank you again and have a great evening and a great holiday, and we'll look forward to seeing you back at next month's meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Burr. Okay, I'm going to make a few announcements. Okay, we're live on Facebook now, so you can go find us. It's Belleville Public Schools on Facebook. Like our page, follow us. We have updates of everything that's going on in the district on there, so you'll know it all in real time. Our band participated in 2 competitions on October 20th. They went to the NJMEA State Ranking Festival, where they achieved a silver ranking in 8th place overall. On October 28th, they went to the Bloomfield Tournament of Bands. They were first place in Group 1. They were first place in Best Percussion in Group 1 and Best Color Guard in Group 1. Yesterday, or maybe it was Saturday, our Junior Buck cheerleaders went to Grams Catholic and they participated in their first ever competition. Our A and B squad came away with 2nd place and our C squad came away with 4th place. And if you want to check out the pictures and some of the pictures of the girls with the trophies, that's also on our Facebook page, so it's another reason to like our Facebook page, because you can see pictures of the girls. I want to compliment the staff and everybody for everything they did during the storm. It was a really horrible situation, and of course, Belleville made the best of it. Thanks to Dr. Tomko for all the updates. And I think last but not least, I'm going to thank the voters of Belleville for re-electing me. It'll be a pleasure to serve you all for the next 3 years. With that, can I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?